Okay, I can see the trend with the damn SD card. It's going to record about 8 minutes footage the first round. Second round is about 11 to 12 minutes. The third round is going to be a couple minutes. So I'm going to finish at least 3 more sessions. It depends on when it cuts out. It depends on how much I'm talking, if I'm getting the point across. But going back to telling children how to behave, what must be said to them in order for them to understand this is the way it is. This is the way Daddy and Mommy turned out. You know, you got to turn out the same way. What happens if our family starts judging and criticizing your behavior, and it's a reflection of our bad teaching, tutoring skills. We've got to teach you how to tongue speak. And if you're not tongue speaking adequately, they're going to judge our behavior, and we don't need that. We don't need you giving us any grief, and we damn sure don't need any adults giving us grief. We'll abuse you. We ain't gonna abuse them because they're a formidable foe. But isn't that what happens when we're around our peers? We can't handle peer pressure. We can't handle their judgment. We're not gonna call them out on it. We're not going to peacock to them. We're not going to thump our chest in front of them because we're afraid of what happens. And what happens if we do? They're going to call the cops. We're going to be spending the night in jail. We're going to have to worry about bond money. We're going to have to worry about court appearance. I can't afford to pay any more payments of any tickets, and so let me just go ahead and attack those who can't defend themselves. You know, the fourth class citizens we call children. They have no choice. They're forced to go to school, forced to behave the way we tell them to behave. We beat them. It's called spanking. It's called discipline. But if we beat another person, that's called abuse. Anyways, telling the kid how they must behave and what to think, and even if they don't, even if they say, you know, Johnny, you can be whatever you want, and the kid grows up thinking, hey, I'm going to be Barbie, I'm going to be G.I. Joe, I'm going to be a fireman, I'm going to be a policeman, I'm going to be president, I'm going to be, yeah, you can be all these things, but you're probably going to end up still slaving to the 9-to-5 grind like the rest of us, and hating your life, and then having children and telling them they could be whatever they want to be too. Why? Because you want to redeem your lack of exercising your options. I mean, you never really had options, but you believed you did. You don't want to believe that you were duped. I mean, you already feel like you've been betrayed every day of your life. You don't need to add to it. You want to impress your children. You want your children to think, oh, Mommy and Daddy was perfect when they were growing up, and they look at that, they conceived me. I mean, how great is that? But really, it all comes down to what's so special about having the miracle of life? I mean, if so many can do it, how is this such a miracle? How is it something that's such a beautiful thing if it can be done by all species? If the intention is to procreate because of survival. Well, if you only worry about surviving by procreating, now you have to worry about more dependents to feed. You only had to feed yourself, now you have to feed more. That's more pressure and anxiety. So you're going to have to probably resort to the cliff notes of life. Oh, well, this is what you got to do. Oh, you have an algebra problem? I'm going to teach you how to add and subtract because I'm perfect at that. I know how to do that. I didn't forget. I'll teach you how to do that, but when it comes to your homework, I can't really help you. I mean, is there something you can do, Junior? I mean, maybe you should pay attention to class more. Maybe you should do everything that prevents me from having to get involved and take an important role in your life and sticking up for you, defending your honor. Oh, because no, you're here to defend my honor. You are supposed to do something different, and which is, you tell a kid what else they need to do. They need to study harder. They need to go through the teacher. They need to find the right crowds to hang out with. They need to look a certain way. Why don't you tell the teachers what they need to be doing different? Why don't you tell the principal what they need to be doing? The mayor? Why don't you tell the cops? Well, see, you realize that's the same thing. If you start to peel an onion, it starts to get stinky. Well, all you've been doing is stinky kissing and pinky. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, what can I do for you? Oh, you want to bend over and give me some stinky? Oh, I'll kiss you stinky too. You've been doing that all your life. You're not going to confront them because what happens if they say, whoa, you've been stinky and pinky ringing us this whole time and now you're not? You're critical of us? We've been doing everything perfectly and here you come along to mess it up. Oh, it's another can of worms you just opened. Just like beating your children, you're probably going to be more likely to not beat somebody who can defend themselves, somebody who's in your league, I guess. When they say fight somebody your own size, nobody fights their own size. That's what competition is. Always making sure you compete with those who you think you can beat. It's like a gambling, right? You make a bet with somebody you think you already have more information they don't, and you're going to take advantage of their lack of knowledge. You're going to exploit that ignorance. just like a child, you're going to exploit their ignorance. But a kid's going to grow up and say, well, what options do I have to exercise? College? Military? Blue collar turned gold collar? Or be a couch potato? Well, what do I do? Well, how come none of the choices are becoming an off-the-grid hippie? How come none of the choices are becoming a self-made millionaire entrepreneur? How come none of the options are becoming a, let's say, a politician? Well, you can't. You got to have a certain amount of experience to become a politician. Why? A kid doesn't have a voice. They can vote at 18, but they can't be voted for. They can't be elected. Why aren't any of these options? Because, well, mommy and daddy didn't do it. Mommy and daddy's mommies didn't do it. Oh, it's never been done. Why should it be done now? Everything has been done. Can't be done until we've seen it with our own eyes. It's just like a kid growing up, you know, having very little credit and very little experience, but they got to start somewhere. Oh, well, you know, they fall back on their excuses. Well, mommy and daddy didn't do it, and grandpa didn't do it, grandpa and grandma didn't do it, so it can't be done. And once they see it's done, just like Galileo said, the world is not flat, it's round. Oh God, heresy, oh no, you're insane, witch. And then once they see it, oh yeah, I guess he was right. Just like the Wright brothers. Oh, I can't fly, no, I can't do it, it's never been done. And once they start flying, oh, well, you know, we're just trying to motivate them to do it because it was reverse psychology. We're just, you know, you got to save face, right? You got to prove that you weren't duped, you weren't ignorant, and nobody wants to ever admit they're wrong, right? Why? Because they're always wrong, and they can't add on to it. It's too much pressure. They'll implode. So a kid, just like somebody who's actually been out there, have enough life experience to know that this shit sucks. This is not fun. This is not right. This is inhumane. This is nothing but torment. Alright? Let me ask you, what could I have done differently? Maybe you don't know enough about me. Maybe I could just give you the bullet points of what actually, you know, the cliff notes of my life. Don't tell me what else I could have done differently, but what you could tell somebody else, or you could give me the information to tell another person to tell me. You see that? Let me say that again. Maybe you can tell me what I can tell people like you, so they can tell me what to do. Maybe that's still, oh, that hasn't been done. Just like when you talk about something, anybody will say, well, what you should have done, what you could have done, what you would have done, what you could have done, what you. It's just like oversimplifying with the child. It's not you, Junior, that is the problem. You don't have the